Hi, this is Dennis Gage. Thanks for tuning in to My Classic Car, home of the certified car nut. Welcome to the Great Smokey Mountains in scenic Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, where we're up to our eyeballs in trucks for the 24th F100 Super Nationals. This is truly truck heaven, with plenty of hot trucks and all kinds of attractions for the whole family. To fill us in on the details, here's Mr. F100 himself, the man who created this monster, Pat Ford.
Dennis, welcome to the F100 Super Nationals.
Pat, great to be here. What a show, what a monster.
Thank you so much. It's something we've all dreamed about.
It's the 24th, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, how did it get started?
We started out in 1979 with a bunch of old truckers, just friends. We always get in the corner there into the parking lot, and we decided to have our own event. We kept looking at shows from the West Coast, and we decided to build our own show here on the East Coast, and now has become the world's largest F100 event.
Man, so how many trucks today?
We've got probably 750 trucks physically on the ground here, and about 1,000 people registered for the show without their truck.
And they're coming from all over?
All over the United States and Canada, and of course we have people here that's visiting us from Ecuador, Sweden, England. Last year we had the president of the F100 Club from Japan, who will be back again next year with us.
Oh man! Now you've really got all range of trucks too. I mean, I see a lot of modified. I see a lot of bone stock. It's for everybody.
It sure is. It's a big family event here, and that's another aspect of it, where the people from the custom trucks to the radical trucks to the stock trucks all can have a great big convention together and respect one another's truck.
Everybody gets to play.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If we all had all custom trucks, it wouldn't be no fun.
Oh, that's right. Well, now and you have all sorts of activities, right? Well, goes on here.
It's sure that we have, of course, a Thursday night we have the go-kart racing for the family here, and we show and shine. We have children's activities going on. We have things for the senior citizens to do here. So it's just one big family deal.
And you guys do a parade here later too, don't you?
Oh yes, very much so. This afternoon will be the largest F100 parade. There'll be some 500-600 trucks, 3 abreast, coming through the streets of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Well, and Pigeon Forge is a great place to have it. So much going on here. Pat, this is great. I'm just digging it so much. This is a nice truck. Tell me about this one here, though.
This belongs to Rex Hosh. This is a two-time winner of the Truck of the Year, F100 Super Nationals Truck of the Year winner.
Okay, truck fans, here's what you've been waiting for. An incredible display of trick trucks at the 24th Annual F100 Super Nationals. With the beautiful Smoky Mountains serving as a backdrop, this was the perfect setting for the gleaming F100s. But honestly, who had time to gaze at nature when you're surrounded by all these cool pickups? I couldn't decide who to talk to first when this truly awesome panel caught my eye.
Jim, this is beautiful. I'm a sucker for panel trucks, but this one just drew me, and it's it's 54, right?
54 panel.
That is. And this is what, neon?
That's a neon light.
That gets used a lot, doesn't it, in these things?
Yeah, they do.
Now you say it's slightly slanted, and it is slightly slanted. How'd you do that?
What I done is up here in the front, I took and cut 4 inches out right here.
Yeah.
Cut a pie cut back to here, and then dropped the complete roof down.
I like the interior too. I mean, you've kind of done buckets in front and back.
I made the seats in the rear so I could take some people with me.
I like these mirrors. I've never seen anything quite like that.
Now, those are homemade. Those are probably one of a kind power mirrors, what they are. This is made out of a Moon Bullet.
Oh yeah.
And I utilized Ford Mustang motors in them.
So these are remote control?
So they're remote, and I can sit there and
very nice.
and zap both lanes going down the road.
Pretty healthy power plant.
Yeah, that's a 460 Lincoln.
Whoa.
So that'll get it down the road all right.
And that is the wildest air cleaner I've ever seen.
That's made out of an F100 hood. I took the side of an F100 hood, cut it down through the middle, and weld it through the top.
That's got to be fun. Maybe we can go out, maybe take it around.
Sure.
I wouldn't even mind, getting chauffeured around that back seat. That looks so comfortable.
We'll put you in the back then.
Thanks a lot. Nice
You
work
bet.
too.
Thank
That
you.
is really cool, Jim. Nice piece of work.
Then I was sucked in by this impeccably restored 1966 F100 with 176,000 miles. The owner started with a rusted out, overworked pickup and turned it into an absolutely beautiful showroom truck with NOS interior and a flawless engine compartment showcasing a 352 V8. I hardly had time to catch my breath before this unusual Resto-mod presented itself.
Don, 56 extended cab? Did they do that?
No, they didn't.
You did that, right?
I did that.
This is beautiful. I love this truck. The paint scheme is really different, but it works for me.
Thank you.
The green, I think it made it.
I'll tell you, everybody, including the painter, was a little edgy when it came to that green.
But you said,
and
it's gotta be green.
It's gotta be the most outrageous green you can make it.
Okay, what's under the hood?
Well, we got a 5.0 motor. I just
okay.
need to come
Yeah,
around
yeah.
here and flip it up.
All right.
And basically back in 92, I was standing in a yard just when a 92 Mustang had come in, had just recently been rolled. And
that engine's mine.
it has 11,000 miles on it, and I said, I'll take it.
But this dash, I mean, that's an Impala, isn't it?
That's a 59 Impala Dash.
It's
And,
so cool.
Thank you.
Well, you know, these taillights are great too. What?
Yeah, came out of a 92 Cadillac, and literally took an evening class on how to do body work, and from there, that was the first thing I did, was French in the taillights.
This is really a cool truck. Don, you do nice work.
Well, thank you.
And it run pretty good with that 5.0?
It's a champ.
Oh, we'll have to go out later.
All right.
You don't necessarily think of Buick Rivieras as muscle cars, but this long, luscious 66 Riv packed a powerful punch with its dual quad 425.
Today we're down in Gainesville, Florida. I'm with Don McCullen. Don, great to have you on the show. I thought it was supposed to be warm down here in Florida.
Usually it is,
but
not today.
Well, we got a very, very hot car though. It's Don's 66 Buick Riv GS. I absolutely love these cars, Don. How long have you had this one?
About 2 years.
And did you have to basically restore this completely, or?
It wound up being a pretty complete job.
Beautiful body style though. You know, the Riv came out in 63, 3, 4, 5 were pretty much similar cars. This was quite a departure from the first body style. What all was changed?
Well, they changed every body panel on it, and the car grew a little bit, so it wound up a little wider, a little longer. More room inside is probably the most significant thing.
Lost the wing window, didn't you?
Right, that's one of the things that got changed. They took the vent windows off, and that was supposed to make them ride a little quieter with the vent windows off, and then you'd have your flow-through ventilation that would come back and come out here.
Okay, so that was, now, did that operate all the time, or did you turn it on or off? Or
well, it was kind of a system that didn't require anything. You turn on the heat, and it would create pressure inside, and it would let the air blow out. If you turn on the vent, it would let the air blow out, and then it wouldn't let any in. It's kind of a one-way valve.
That's nice. And you know, moving on back, still a Riv, but there's some changes here too.
Yes, in the 63 and 4, they had the taillights up in the trunk area that came down a little deeper. And then in the 65, they had the taillights down in the bumper. And then 66, they kind of put them in the middle there in a cove, which gave it a nice clean look.
Well, and clean is sort of the theme for this car, isn't it? I mean, it's just all the lines.
I always thought so, and it's free of any scoops and gewgaws and stuff that it didn't really need.
Now the interior too is like you say, it's a little bit bigger. You know, and it came, now you've got that barrel speedometer.
Right, that's a different speedometer than they had in the first 3 years. The first 3 years was a round speedometer with a needle that looked fairly like a typical speedometer.
Yeah, and I mean, this looks a lot like a Toronado of 66.
Well, they share the same GME body.
And you know, for that reason, I guess this kind of got passed over to a certain extent. All the hoo-ha was around the Toronado.
Right, the Toronado got all the press because it was the front-wheel drive, and the Riviera still had the normal rear-wheel drive. Riviera didn't change that all the way up until 79.
Wow. Well, you know, so there's some other design cues left over from the first version, though, isn't there? I mean, this front here is reminiscent of the first car.
Yes, it is, but first version had the light on both sides of the fender. And this one just has it on this side of the fender.
Under the hood, though, is what I really love in this car, because you got the big one. You got the dual
2.4s.
Yeah, well, let's open it up.
They always look good, those 2.4s.
Don't they? Wow. Now, that's a 425 cubic inch engine, correct?
Yes.
And that was the only engine you got with the Riv.
Right, it was either the 425 with a 4-barrel or with the 2.4s.
And then with the single 4-barrel, how many horsepower?
340.
And with the 2?
It was 360.
Okay, so it really wasn't that much of a change. You got a little bit of extra horsepower.
Well, 20 more horsepower.
Yeah, but it is a great looking engine. Now,
how good was the engine when you got the car?
Well, we pulled the heads off and it looked clean inside, and we just did a little bit of a valve job and put it back together again, and ran fine. It ran fine to begin with, but you know, when you're restoring one, when you want to get a look inside.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't do all that work and then find out you got to pull the engine down.
Well, when you opened it up, I'd forgotten how wild these things look when you open them up, because, oh, there's the headlights.
Pointing up.
Pointing up.
Up under the shelf of the hood.
So they really didn't hide the headlights away with a door or anything, they just pulled them out of the way for this car.
Mm-hmm.
And is it a
They would swing down with an electric motor.
good running car?
Yeah,
Yeah?
good running.
Yeah. Well, what do you say we take it out for a good run?
Sounds like a good idea.
All right, button it up. Welcome back to My Classic Car. It might have been a cloudy day, but I had a great time cruising around the Sunshine State in this '66 Riviera.
Would you consider this the second generation of Riv?
Well, absolutely, the second generation.
It is
of the
second
Riv.
generation.
Although they did use the Riviera name to describe hardtops
Yeah, back in the 50s.
from 49
Yeah.
up.
But 63, 4, 5 were one body style, and then this one came along.
The second generation.
And what all changes took place between the 63, 4, and 5 and then into 66?
Well, the 66 got a little bit bigger, but not too much bigger, a little wider. Like every sheet metal panel on it was changed. But they did stay with the same general chassis, which was an X-frame.
And where were the two in the in the whole hierarchy of GM? I mean, was Riv or Tornado?
Well,
Or were they?
Riviera, the whole Buick line is supposed to be just under Cadillac, and then Olds is just under Buick.
And what was this always? Who was the target for the Riv? The Riv is sort of a kind of a luxury sports car, or
Well,
what do they call
at
it?
GM they saw Thunderbird selling so well, and they wanted to have a car to compete with that. So they finally got it together and got out the 63 Riviera.
So it's kind of a Thunderbird competitor, huh?
Right.
That is one smooth running Riv.
They know what they were doing then.
They sure did.
They built them right.
I love this car. Cool day, took a while to get it warmed up. Let's not waste this heat. What do you say we roll a little bit more?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.